Peace, love, and black empowerment. You are tuned into the Mile High News Channel, Denver's first station for news and entertainment that is for us and by us. With your host, Noble Turner, Sharif Aline, Chairman Sekou, and Jesse Paris. Welcome. Peace, love, and black empowerment. Welcome back to Mile High News, family. And this is episode number 30. Yes. You've been getting it in for 30 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So, as always, I just want to thank our donators. I want to thank our supporters. I want to thank our viewers. Make sure if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, just click down there on the like button and the subscribe button because the more subscribers we get, fam, the more people we can reach. So we really appreciate that. Just want to give y'all an update on Unity Community. We made our first storage container purchase today, so we're really excited about that. Yeah. And yes, man, it's going to be the beginning of something beautiful, So I'm going to keep you guys updated on that. And when we get to growing and we get to making that turn that storage container into an actual living space, I'll keep y'all updated on everything. I just want to touch on something. A couple of years ago, I tried to start a black business advertising, and a lot of people didn't, think it was that important then. I was around Denver here, trying to deliver for black businesses, and I was only charging $2 for the anywhere in the Denver metro area. You know what I'm saying? I was really trying to get it in. Now it is almost pertinent, you know what I'm saying, that we bring this back. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring back the Mile High News Black Business of the Week, and I'm actually going to create a separate page where we're going to just be doing straight black businesses. So you guys make sure you stay in touch for that, in tune for that, because I really think that, our black businesses, they were already doing bad, and, this of what's going on, even with the protests too, this is making it worse for them, so we got to get out and we got to support our black businesses, family, and even though I'm trying to create a community with black businesses, we still don't want to see our, our black businesses here that, tank, and that's what they're doing, if, a lot of my people from Denver, if you've seen the Cash Bar now, it used to be a major jumping spot, and now, it's barely anybody in there. And I'm not trying to, say anything or nothing like that, but, it's just sad, because with our black businesses, they take our black history. So, I can't see that. So we're going to bring that back for sure. Next up, we got our sister Melly Queen, General Melly Queen in Queen's Corner. And she's going to be coming at y'all about the protest and the end result of the protest, because that's what we need to figure out what's going on after this. If you see nationwide, the protests have kind of died down from what they were doing. So it's time to figure out a plan of what to do next. Like I said last week, it's time to figure out, plan B. That was just plan A, what we're doing, and what the rioters and the protesters did, What's next after this? So, Sister Melly Queen.
Thank you, Brother Noble. Peace and black power, black family. How y'all doing today? I want to start out sending a salute and power to all black media platforms and to all our brothers and sisters that are out here spreading the truth for us and by us. Salute to Mile High News team and Brother Noble with the Unity Community Initiative up in Colorado. Shout out to the Vanguard's Online Academy and the Black Panther Corner with General Melly Queen and Executive Producer General Nate. Now, family, I just wanted to come to you all today, June the 10th, 2020. Just trying to see what is our focus here. What is our game plan? We not talking about the coronavirus anymore. We're not talking about the 5G technology that is still being installed and implemented into every aspect of our lives. We're focused on the protest. Now, like I've said before, I could care less of what is being burned down, what is being destroyed, this, that, and the other. All I want to know is what's the end result? What are we going to accomplish after all this? Are these laws going to be changed? Because if you're sitting up there doing all this and you still can be arrested, we haven't accomplished anything. What are we focused on? I don't understand where we haven't come to one agreement that we have no friends and no allies. We have people out here doing these riots that's making it worse for the ones that it was supposed to have been about in the first place. Instead of black lives being the focus, now all lives matter. When are we going to focus on us people? Focus on what we need to do to build our strength and our selves right now during this crucial time in our story. The world is not going to go back to the way it used to be. And frankly, it's time for a change. But in making that change, we have to make a change in ourselves, in our thinking, in the way that we're moving, in the things that we are doing. We have to focus on ourselves as a collective. Focus on building institutions and communities and schools and different things that our people need to enhance ourselves and to grow. It's time we stop making excuses and do what we need to do. First of all, we need one agenda, and we need to come together and figure out what's our next step. We don't have to broadcast it all over social media, but we need to start getting together, seeing about each other, keeping each other informed of what's going on, and building and building and building together. Solutions. That's all we need to be focused on. Going back to our ancestral ways, roots. Going back to nature, natural living. Get armed. All of us need to be armed. Meditation, relaxation during this time. Get yourselves and your families and your communities prepared for whatever. Stop focusing on the dumbness. We love y'all. Peace and power. Black power.
So yeah, definitely, fam. We got to make sure we figure out what's next and really come up with a plan. You know, I've got my plan. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if for all our people joining us in different states and even different countries, you know, shouts out to our South Africa. You know, they're giving us a lot of support. And I've even seen Brazil, which is kind of weird, but you know, shouts out to y'all. Thank y'all for the you know, the love and support. But yeah, we have to really sit down and figure out a plan, not just in my state and my city, but yours too. You know, it's time to do it. So definitely, we got next up. We got our brother Ma Ray. He did a piece for us a couple of episodes ago, and he's back now for our correspondence. And he's going to be talking about being constructive in the wake of what's going on in these days, because you know we still got to stay positive and focused on our families and like I said before, the next step. So, Brother Ma Ray, welcome back, sir.
Appreciate you having me.
Definitely,
Appreciate
definitely.
you, Brother Noble, man. Congratulations on getting that container.
Yes, thank you.
That's good work. Yeah, I want to start off by saying, man, the war is just beginning. Like, I mean, this is like the pre-game. So we got to stay vigilant, family. We got to make sure that we are on code, that we are paying attention to what we're doing, being safe out there for sure, making sure we stay armed, because these race soldiers apparently don't have no love for us. They never had no love. As we know, the police department was started by slave catchers. And so the war is just starting. Let's stay vigilant. Let's take advantage of our voices being heard at this moment, because we've been ignored for so long. And let's keep it 100. It ain't the majority of black people out here doing this. We got all kind of whites and Mexicans and everybody else out here that's doing all this rioting. But while they're doing this, I think this is a good opportunity where we can put some of our issues out on the table. Talking about the reparations, like the brother Jesse was talking about. You know, we can get some of this stuff out there. And while they're acting like they listening, we can you know, keep working toward certain goals and agendas. Also, you know, I'm not even gonna say last but not least, but what are we gonna do constructive while this is happening? Are we gonna be starting businesses? Are we gonna be trying to move into our own communities? What are we gonna do that's gonna be constructive? I think that we need to be constructive in all things that we do, but especially right now in this pivotal wartime situation. None of us have been in this type of situation before, I could say that. So this is brand new, but that's where the brains need to come together, where we need to start having these sit-down conversations like, hey, man, what are we going to do constructive? How can we change our situation and get up out of our situation? So I think the items is pretty short. Let me see. I think I may have one more thing I wanted to mention. Oh, should have been the first thing. Black first. They're gonna come out here. They're trying to mix this black and brown. They're gonna be offering us all these little quote unquote tangibles that's not gonna have anything dealing with black people.
Minorities.
Not at all.
Yeah. People of color.
Yeah. People of color. And we gotta learn their little code words, which is refined racism at its finest. Black and brown. You guys chime in. There's got a whole bunch of minority, gays, and all this stuff.
Marginalized.
We need to be black first.
Right.
Period. And nothing wrong with, hey, as the brother Treek say, let them hold their own nuts.
Yeah.
That's right.
But it's time for us to hold ours too.
Right.
So appreciate the opportunity to be able to be heard.
Definitely, brother. And thank you for coming on back again. You know, we always welcome our people. This is our correspondence show. So, you know, if you have something to say, you know, you can, you know, come on out and holler at us, you know, record a video and I'll put y'all on. You know, this is time for our voices to be heard. You know what I'm saying? And like I say on every show, you know, this is the age of Aquarius. And Aquarius means the age of information, the age of building. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we need to do. And you know, haven't y'all noticed we were talking about the 400-year marker from 1619 to 2019, and that's 400 years, right? So year one after 400 years, look what's going on. 401 years. So you can imagine what else is finna start. This happened in the first year of the 400. So we need to get ready, fam. And that getting ready don't mean marching and protesting and asking for these people to stop killing you. You make them stop killing you. You make them give us economic freedom. You make us stop, you know, locking 1 out of 3 black boys up. You know what I'm saying? You make them stop killing us. You know, we got to stay forward and keep it moving and come out of this, you know, with a story to tell. You know, and I always say that, you know, we are living in one of the most craziest times now, and you know, we're not progressing forward. You know what I'm saying? We should come out of this with a story to tell, like, hey, during the pandemic and during the, you know what I'm saying, the riots and stuff, man, we built a community. And yeah, I'm a plug myself on in there too. So yeah, we built a community, or we built, you know, economic justice, or we built, you know, freedom, liberation. You know what I'm saying? And just like Brother Maury said, you know, we're hot right now. So why not try to get something out of this? Why we're so popular? You know what I'm saying? We've been popular, and you know, we are that people. But, you know, right now it seems like the times everybody's paying attention to us. They're acting like Brother George Floyd was the first person to get killed like that. Mm-hmm. Like, don't y'all know this been happening for years? You know, centuries. So, definitely. We got our West Coast correspondent, our brother Shabaka Sankara, and he's going to be talking about Eula Love, Sandra Bland, and Sister Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace to these sisters. So, Brother Shabaka.
Thank you, Brother Noble. This is Shabaka Sankara coming to you from Silicon Valley, California. My special report. Okay, we're going to be talking about Eula Love, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor. As you know, Eula Love was murdered by the Los Angeles Police Department in the late 1970s, where she had struck the gas man upside the head with a shovel who was going to turn off her heat. And her point was that she had to maintain the heat and the hot water on to provide for her children, or otherwise the state of California was going to hit her with child neglect. She was murdered by the LAPD. She was shot 32 times. The source of this information is a book called Chief, by Daryl Gates, who was the former chief of the Los Angeles Police Department. And then, of course, as we know about Sandra Bland, who was in Texas from Chicago going on to a job interview, and where she was pulled over by a Texas law enforcement official who brutalized her, took her to jail, and Ms. Bland died in police custody. Also, too, as we do know, in regard to Ms. Breonna Taylor in Louisville, Kentucky recently, who was murdered in her bed, shot 8 times by the Louisville Metropolitan Police Department, who was serving a warrant, a no-knock warrant, at the wrong address. And fortunately, her friend defended the household, where he returned fire, and rightfully so, doing something called a home invasion. Now, also, too, in regard to Mr. Aubrey being murdered in Georgia, then of course we know about Mr. George Floyd being murdered in Minneapolis, Minnesota. There's been a lot of protests going on around the country, Black Lives Matter, what have you. What it is for us black family is to take care of ourselves, is for us to get out there on pistol ranges, is also there for us to have self-defense classes for our young. Also, too, is for our men folk to have self-defense classes. And also, too, we definitely need black men mentoring to black boys, and particularly in this day and age, is because all we're seeing is our men folk is out here talking about they're loving everybody else, but still hating ourselves. And then also, too, the savage that murdered Mr. Floyd, Shavik or Shavrin or whatever what his name is, there's just special circumstances as, and hit him with murder 1. Also, too, his accomplices, who stood by and did nothing to prevent this murder, they have been arrested as well, too. So therefore, people, what we have to look at is that when it comes to us as a people, we are viewed in less than human in the mainstream society of the United States. The ethos, the American ethos that view us as a people as subhuman. And of course, we do know we are human. And plus that, we're the original human. Why do you think these other groups want our melanin? Why do you think these other groups want to go out here and get suntans and what have you? So what we have to do, ladies and gentlemen, is that we have to set a code of standards for our operation. And we have to go by this code, stand by this code, reinforce this code to protect ourselves, is because we do have a right to exist, and we do have the right to live, and we do have the right to survive by any means necessary. Most definitely, I want to give a shout out there to Mile High News. Most definitely, I want to give a shout out there to Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which I'm the executive producer and host. Our producer and co-host is the one and only Mad Dr. D. We're getting our platform out. We're unifying with all other black platforms, Mile High News, melanatedpeople.net. You can check us on there, Black I Stand Radio, what have you, New Black Knowledge, Do the Knowledge Radio, definitely Too Raw for TV. And we'll be very, very interested in doing another podcast with Mile High News with the whole staff there. Of course, Brother Noble, Brother Jesse, Chairman Sekou, and of course, Brother Aleem, then of course the sister circles as well, too. So therefore, black family, as I'm sitting here in the middle of Silicon Valley, which is a $1 trillion industry that makes money off of us. They got plenty of housing out here, a lot of these vacant apartments out here. But however, you got to pay like ridiculous amounts of rent for it. Now, people like Zuckerberg and Bezos and what have you, and I really don't give a fuck about them, of how much money they lose on the stock market and things of that nature right there, is because that there is just too much wealth for one person to have. Just like this sick son of a bitch by the name of Bill Gates, who wants people to go out here and to take this vaccine, and he should be the first one, to administer it himself. He is of the opinion that the world is overpopulated. Well, if you feel that the world is overpopulated, do the proper thing, and you could help that cause, is go about 50 miles north of here up Highway 101, and that there will take you to a place called the Golden Gate Bridge, and just simply go jump off the damn thing, if you feel the world is overpopulated. So most definitely, I shout out there once again to Brother Noble, to Chairman Sekou, to Brother Che, and definitely, of course, there to Brother Alim. This is the West Coast Correspondent, Shabaka Sankor, for Mile High News.
All right, that's right, Brother Shabaka. Yeah, we got to avenge their deaths. You know what I'm saying? And whether it be by, getting muddy and bloody, or whether it be by taking money out their pockets, we have to figure out a way to fight back to them because, they showed enough bringing the fight to us. It have been for, like I said, for centuries. You know what I'm saying? So let's sit down and figure out a plan, And not just their deaths we have to avenge. We have millions, thousands. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, next up we got our a new brother to Mile High News, the Correspondents. His name is Brother Romel, and he's going to be talking about power. So, Brother Romel.
Like we always do.
Peace, the angel of peace from the east. Familiarity breeds contempt. Sometimes we invite problems into our lives by being too lax. Being too kind with so-called friends and acquaintances causes us to overlook the snake in our circumference. This evil cobra is ready to strike us down with the deadliest and most poisonous venom. When the snake does strike, it catches us off guard. Thus we become a victim to the very enemy we ourselves have bred and allowed to be in our midst. In these current times, the majority of the world's population has embraced the pursuit of power. The hunger for power has become the driving force of humanity. The evil snakes of society seek power to manipulate the people and to unjustly reap riches off the blood, sweat, and tears of others. The so-called elite utilize the power of indoctrination to push their abominational agendas. Beware of the power of propaganda and beware of the power of suggestion. The so-called elite continue to exploit the ignorance of the common people. But one day soon, the so-called elite will fall victim to the very lies they have fabricated. Truth be told, there are 5 forms of power. The 5 forms of power are people, objects, wealth, education, and resources. Power is an item, an idea, or an individual that helps and gives one the advantage to take advantage of an opportunity. People are a good source of power because people accomplish things easier as a team, and people working together as a unit are more influential and effective than a single individual. Sometimes it ain't what you know, but who you know that serves as a resource to accomplish a feat. The power of diplomacy helps one deal with people on all social levels. Diplomacy is shaking the hand you don't want to shake and saying the words that are needed to keep situations flowing smoothly without too much friction or opposition. Sometimes a quiet smile and a simple nod has the power to move mountains. Never take for granted the power of a friendship, nor the power of an ally. A small rapport is enough to open the door to ultimate success. The negative aspects of life also contain power. Be cautious of the power of hate, because you never know how hate will arrive in your midst, nor will you know how hate will manifest itself. Innocence has no knowledge of how the malicious power of hate works. Love is blind and susceptible to the malicious attacks of others. A loving person can easily become a victim of hate. Simplicity is more of a vice than a blessing. Therefore, the common folk must be well-rounded in all dimensions of knowledge and power in order to survive reality. Do not be fooled by luxurious objects and wealth. In the world of the so-called elite, luxury and wealth are the ultimate symbols of power, but these powers are not enough to give one true peace, nor can they help one find true love. But in retrospect, the fact is that with luxury and wealth, one can be more comfortable in the harsh conditions of reality. Power is the capacity to do. We are blessed with the power to see and hear, etc. Consider yourself blessed to have the power to mind. Be grateful for having the power of life and blessed to be alive. It is better to give than to receive. There is power in virtue and selfishness, but the power of selflessness is truly more powerful. All power is generated internally before it is manifested externally. This is the science of power. Peace to the gods and earths and the lost 5%. Ramel and Saint Angel, peace from the east, bringing the hope without the dope. Peace.
All right, yeah, that's right, brother. Romel, we need power. You know what I'm saying? Our people need power, and the only way to gain power, especially in this place, you know what I'm saying, is with respect. So, we have to figure out a plan and a way to get respect because, I know a lot of people say, who cares if they don't respect us? With respect comes without respect is disrespect. And disrespect is deadly for us, George Floyd was disrespected. Sandra Bland was disrespected, Sister Eula Love was disrespected. You know what I'm saying? We have to create some respect to where it's not that, we're kissing their ass or anything, but we have to create some respect to where they know not to mess with us no more. And when it gets to that, we're going to be a changed people, I think, All right, fam. So next up, we got our Midwest correspondent, Brother Busara, and he's going to be speaking about not letting our enemies get in the way of our work. So, Brother Busara.
Thank you, Brother Noble, as well as Mile High News. I'm Busara reporting out of St. Louis. I want to get right into it because I don't have that much time and there's a lot to talk about in these crazy times. Don't let your enemies get in the way of your work. How's a proverb, which is an African, a tribe found in Africa, so it's an African proverb. We don't want to let our enemies get in the way of our work. And if you've been paying attention to the media, whether it's been mainstream, social media, or even the black media that we can find, the enemy is trying their best to distract us, whether it's them pretending like they're for Black lives. You got the Nancy Pelosi and company kneeling, wearing kente cloth. I don't know who they're appealing to, but these are the things that the enemy uses to keep us away from our work. So they know that there's a sickness among us that has a yearning for white allies. So we have people who they just want to see white people holding signs for them and struggling for their causes, but that's not the work. And if you're distracted, you'll be thinking that that's the worker. And this stuff must be ignored, as well as other wasteful tactics, standing in front of racist police officers with your hands up, allowing for them to spray you with mace. Now, I don't want to call these persons cowards because it does take some type of strength or courage to stand up to persons who would show this type of barbarity. But we need men who will swing and fight back, not just who will stand with their arms out or lay on the ground and play dead. We need warriors sharpening it, the spears and shining up the tools. So we go and we continue to look at the enemies trying to get in the way of our work. So you have a Black Lives Matter protest changed into a cookout with police. So none of the real issues will get addressed as long as you let the enemy get in the way of your work, as long as your goal is white acceptance. And I'm not saying anyone who watches this program has that goal, but that's what we're seeing. The mainstream media is promoting persons who are seeking white acceptance, not those who are seeking Black liberation. And before I get out of here, I want to talk about the real work. And the real work is, this is the biggest battle of our lives. And it will continue generation after generation. So even if we push back white supremacy or destroy it, we will have to maintain a level of intelligence, of control, of integrity that will prevent us from losing whatever we fought to gain. So it's a generational fight. So our goal is total liberation. It's not reform. It's not tokens. It's not biscuits. It's not temporary ego strokes. It's something that can be felt generationally. Control of land, control of culture, control of resources, control of education, control of the economy, and ultimately control of our destiny. Now, there are always the things that you can't avoid, such as earthquakes or massive tsunamis that may wipe you out, that may twist your destiny. But the things that we can control, we should control. And that should be the conversation, not pleading to cops that our lives matter, not pleading for white allies, but for reparations, land, control of our culture, to get all of the culture vultures out of our music so we're not pushing death and drugs and nonsense to our people as if that's entertainment. Control of resources so we can kick people out of places they don't belong, harboring and hoarding the resources. Education. We shouldn't be going to schools named after people who owned our ancestors. We need a real education that teaches us about Dr. Amos and Elijah Muhammad, the true stories of Malcolm X, all of the real things. And an economy. Because how can we have white allies before we have Black money, a working economy? And that's all. I'm Busar, reporting out of St. Louis. Back to you, Brother Noble. Saluting Mile High News.
So definitely. So next up, we got our brother Che, aka Brother Jesse, and he is taking over for Sekou's corner. Our brother Sekou isn't here this week. He's out getting it in, and he's running for Senate for the Unity Party. So go, Brother Sekou.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Wish you was here, bro. But be safe out there where you at. And Brother Jesse, we're gonna be talking about Tangibles 2020, of course. And Sekou's Corner, Junior. Yes. so Brother Jesse.
Thank you, Brother Noble.
Sure.
So, pandemic, riots in the streets. We got to remain focused on our tangibles, family. There's a 2020 election coming up. And if any of these candidates want our vote, Biden, Trump, all the above, they need to produce tangibles. When we're talking about tangibles, we're talking about something real, something substantive, something you can feel, touch, count, measure, not symbology. With Obama, they used symbology to get us. With Trump or Biden or anybody else, they need to produce tangibles for us. So that means cutting a check. That means reparations. And we're talking about $100 trillion for past, present, and future atrocities brought against our people. And to reiterate, our people are the foundational Black Americans, the American descendants of slavery who built this country. There was no country until we built it. So we can never lose sight of that, family, and we have to keep reminding these groups, these other so-called people of color, minority, marginalized groups, of that fact and that truth, because they have got it twisted and think that we are all in this together. No, we are not all in this together. We have never all been in this together. There can be no divisiveness if we were never to get together in the first place. So don't let them bully you into anybody but Trump. What about the Minority Coalition? What about the Rainbow Coalition? Any of that nonsense, family, don't buy it. We are focused on our tangibles, and we are Black first, and that's foundational Black first. We built this country. There'll be no country without us, and we can never lose sight of that. So, family, we are at war, and it's time that we start waging back. So I salute the protesters in the streets, the Black ones.
The 3 or 4.
That
11 Black ones.
Enough is enough of this madness. And we need to defund these prisons. We need to defund the prison industrial complex, the police, the race soldiers. They need to be defunded. And the whole system needs to be abolished and replaced with a system of justice, guaranteeing that those that need the most help get it, and those that need the most constructive help get it. That is what justice is. It's not, I want to be equal to the white man. Who is that to be equal to? A caucasoid? Really? You want to be equal to a two-legged land rat? No. We are the gods and goddesses of this planet, of this world, of this kingdom, of this solar system. There's no way in hell we want to be equal to a two-legged land rat, otherwise known as the Caucasoid. Have you lost your minds? Seriously, we need a system of justice guaranteeing that nobody is mistreated based off the color of their skin, and those that need the most help get it.
Replace the system of injustice with a
system of actual justice.
Right.
And not this fairly
right now
equal equality bull crap. No. Power is not given, family. It is taken. It's time that we take our power back and bring reciprocity to this planet. Restore that. For those that don't know what that means to restore back to what it was. Because it wasn't always, we were under the occupation of these cave dwellers. It's only been for the past 500 so years that we've been under their occupation, but their reign of terror is coming to an end. And it's up to my generation and the generations after me to make sure of that, because the baby boomers, they're done. Mm-hmm. The Gen Xers still got some fight in them, but it's on us millennials and us Zs to really get this cracking. Do as we said, which is replace this global racism, white supremacist system with a system of justice. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. Definitely. That's right, fam. We gotta do something. You know? And if y'all don't believe in that, then y'all stay here. We'll leave. You might come a little bit later on, but y'all gotta do something. So definitely, y'all make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to our Facebook. Give us a like.
Yes, like and subscribe.
That's right. And we're always accepting donations here at Mile High News on Cash App, $, Mile High News. And we love y'all, fam. I can't tell y'all this enough. We've got to do something. And something starts with
Episode
unity.
30, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? So peace, love, and black empowerment.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.